Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. Ifeanyi Mewa, and this is Top Flight College online class. I'd like to take some topics here: area and perimeter of plane shapes. When I talk about plane shape, I'm talking about rectangle, triangle, and compound shapes. That's the topic I'll be taking. And I believe you're familiar with plane shapes. You must have heard about rectangle and triangle. So let's see what we have. When we talk about area of plane shape, what is a plane shape, or what is the area of a plane shape? The area of a shape is the amount of space it covers. For example, if you spread a map on the floor, the space it covers, that is the area. I said it. That's the area it covers when you spread a map. You can also calculate the area of some plane or flat shapes by measuring the side of the edges and multiplying or using formula. You get it? So when you spread a map on the floor, the area it covers is the amount of space it covers is the area, and you can actually get it by measuring the edges of that place. And like I said, if you remember, one of the examples of a rectangle is a floor, a ceiling, a textbook, a table, your blackboard. Okay. Now let's talk about perimeter of a shape. The perimeter of a shape is the measurement of all the sides of the shape. For example, your textbook, the textbook that you have, if you want to determine the perimeter of that textbook, which is a rectangle, now measure all the edges. Then the edges there, when you measure the edges, that's the breadth, then the long side is the length. You see that the first part is the same, the measurement will be the same, then the length will also be the same. Then you add everything together. The edges, the top and the one beneath is the same. You add the both together, then the length and the other one also together. For example, now look at this. Is a test. This is a notebook. It's an example of what a rectangle. Now look at this. If I want to determine the perimeter of this notebook, I will need to measure from here to this place. That is the length. Okay, and you discover that this length here is also the same thing with the length here. This is the length, this is the breadth. The breadth is the same thing as the width. It's also the same measurement with this. Then how do I get the perimeter? I'll add all the measurements. I'll add everything together. That is how I get my perimeter. I believe you understand that now. You can also do that practical on your own. Okay? Now look at this now. Getting the area of a rectangle. I already showed you an example of a rectangle, which is a notebook, a blackboard, and so forth and so on and so forth. Now, area of a rectangle is length times breadth. Now remember, breadth is the same thing as width, and the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. Now let's take this example now. Calculate the area and perimeter of a rectangle. Calculate the area and perimeter of a rectangle whose length and breadth are 10 centimeter and 6 centimeter. Now look at the question. We are given the longest side is the length, while the smaller one is the breadth. We are told to find the area. And first of all, you need to remember that the formula is length times breadth. That is the length. The area is what? Length times breadth. The length is 10 centimeter. The breadth is 6 centimeter. That means to calculate it, you say what? 10 times 6. 10 times 6. And it's going to give us what? 60 centimeter square. Now, the length and the breadth are the parameters given to us. For you to calculate the area, you need to state out the parameters. The length is 10 centimeter. The breadth is 6 centimeter. So therefore, using the formula, you say now what? Length times breadth, which is 10 centimeter times 6 centimeter, which will give us 60 centimeter square. I believe you understand that. Alright. Now, the perimeter. Remember the question says find the area and the perimeter. The area is 60 centimeters square. Now the perimeter is 2 open brackets, length plus breadth. Now remember I showed you this. It's an example of a rectangle. This notebook. Now remember the length here and the length here are the same. How do you get the perimeter? You can say that the perimeter is the length plus the breadth plus the breadth. That's how you calculate the perimeter. Or you use the formula which says 2 open bracket length plus breadth. And the breadth, we're already given as 6 centimeter, the length is 10 centimeter. That is, perimeter is 2 open bracket, 10 plus 6. 10 plus 6 will give us 16. So the perimeter will now be what? 2 into open bracket 16. That means 2 times 16. So the perimeter is 2 times 16 will give us 32 centimeter. I hope you understand that. Alright. Now look at this now. Look at the question now. Sometimes the question can be changed. You can be given the area, you can be given the length, and you'll be told to find the breadth. Now all you need to do is, you don't need to worry. Remember the formula given for the area and the perimeter. The area of the rectangle and the perimeter. Now question 1 says calculate the length of a rectangle given that the area is 54 centimeters square and the breadth is 9 centimeters. Calculate the length. You can see we are told to find the length given that the area is 54 centimeters square and the breadth is 9 centimeters. Now question number 2 says calculate the breadth of a rectangle whose perimeter is 64 centimeters and the length is 27 centimeters. Now let's get back to question number 1. Calculate the length given that the area is 54 centimeters square and the breadth is 9 centimeters. Now remember that the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. The area is 54 centimeters square equals to the length is 9. The length is unknown and the breadth is 9 centimeters. Are you getting me? The breadth is what? 9 centimeters. We are told to find the length. If you look at what is displayed on the screen, it is actually the length we are told to find. Okay? It is actually the length we are told to find, given that the breadth is 9 centimeters. Now, all we need to do is what? Since we are told to find the length, so that means we are told to find the length. That's 9L. 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 Area is 54 equals to the length L times the breadth 9. So that means it will give us 9L equals to 54. So that means we are looking for the length. How do we get the length? We divide both sides by 9. Divide both sides by 9. When you divide both sides by 9, that means the length will be what? 6 centimeters. The length will be 6 centimeters. Now look at question number 2 now. We are told to calculate the breadth of a rectangle whose perimeter is 64 centimeters and the length is 27 centimeters. Length is 27 centimeters, perimeter is 64 centimeters, and the breadth is what we are told to calculate. Now how do you calculate it? Remember that the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 open brackets, length plus breadth. Now the perimeter is 64 centimeters equals to 2 open brackets, length is 27 plus breadth is unknown. Length is 27, perimeter is 64. Now open the brackets. Open the brackets. So that means 2 multiplied by 27 plus 2 multiplied by b. Breadth is the unknown. Now opening the bracket now, we have 64 equals to 2 times 27 is 54 plus 2 times b is 2b. Collecting like terms now, remember 64 equals to 54 plus 2b. Collecting like terms, so that means 2b equals to what? 64 minus 54. 64 minus 54 will give us 10. So we have 2b equals to 10. How do we get b that is unknown? The breadth divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. When you divide both sides by 2, so that means you're going to get your breadth to be 5. You're going to get your breadth to be 5 centimeters. Do you understand that now? All right. Now look at the question. Another question. Calculate the breadth of a rectangle whose area is 66 centimeters square and the length is 11 centimeters. Area is 66 centimeters square and the length is 11 centimeters. We are told to calculate the breadth. That means the breadth is unknown. Now, going back to the formula of the area of a rectangle, which says area is length times breadth. State out the parameters. Area is 66 centimeters square, length is 11 centimeters square, 11 centimeters, and the breadth is unknown. Area is 66 centimeters square, length is 11 centimeters, and the breadth is unknown. Now, imputing the values into the formula, area is 66 equals to length is 11 times breadth, unknown. So, 66 equals to 11 times b is 11b. We have now 11b equals to 66. We are looking for the unknown, which is the breadth. Divide both sides by 11. Divide both sides by 11. So we have 66 over 11 equals to 11, b over 11. So we have 6 equals to b, or b equals to 6 centimeters. So the breadth is equals to 6 centimeters. Do we understand it? All right. Okay. Look at the question displayed on the screen. Calculate the breadth of a rectangle whose area is 60 centimeters square and length is 15 centimeters. Calculate the breadth. Calculate the breadth of a rectangle given that the area is 60 centimeters square and the length is 15 centimeters. Fastest finger. Now, remember the previous ones that we have done using the formula given. Okay, I believe you can be able to solve these questions. Calculate the breadth, that's for question 1, given that the area is 60 centimeters square and the length is 15 centimeters. Then question 2 says calculate the length of a rectangle whose perimeter is 66 and breadth is 21 centimeters. And breadth is 21 centimeters. You are told to calculate the length given that the perimeter is 66 centimeters and breadth is 21 centimeters. I believe you can do that. Question number 3. Calculate the area of a rectangle whose perimeter is 62 centimeters and length is 29 centimeters. Now look at that question number 3. You are told to calculate the area of a rectangle. Now remember that the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. You are given that the perimeter is 62 centimeters and length is 29 centimeters. You are already given length to be 29. You need the breadth for you to calculate the area of a rectangle, which says length times breadth. Now you are given perimeter. Recall that the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 open bracket length plus breadth. Now from there you can be able to get your breadth so that you can calculate the area of the rectangle. Do you understand it? Okay. So you have to be fast about that now. Okay. Now state out the parameters clearly before you get your answers so that it will guide you in knowing what you are asked to get. Okay? Alright. Is that disturbing the class? Alright, okay. Okay. Alright. I believe you are getting your answers now. I'll be calling you one after the other to tell me your answers individually. Okay. Okay. Finn, I hope you're solving the question. Alright. Emmanuel, I hope you are solving the questions, stating out the parameters clearly. Okay. Samuel, I hope you are solving the question, stating out the parameters clearly. Alright, okay. Okay. Alright. So, what did you get, Samuel? The breadth. of a rectangle, we say area is 60 centimeters squared, and